Hi, I'm Kelly Holmes. I believe sport offers something for everyone. As a National School Sports Champion, I'm right behind schools' efforts to ensure that no student is ever left on the sidelines. In this programme, you'll see how schools can use simple ideas to include all of their students.
This is a training session at Beacon Hill Special School in Ipswich. It's an unusual piece of CPD. The teachers are being encouraged to explore how much they rely on sight, sound and speech in everyday communication.
You are going to get into order of your birth month, just a month. And for those of you that can see, we'll have January at that end, through to December at that end.
Right, you're all right, you stay where you are. Stay here.
Margaret and Jill, you're not allowed to speak. We've taken away speech, we've taken away vision, all right? And how do you communicate in other ways other than speaking?
The exercise is designed to help the teachers think laterally about other means of communicating that may change the ways they teach.
Okay, take your blindfolds off. How was that?
Beacon Hill has around 150 students, mostly of secondary age. They have a variety of special needs, including Down syndrome and autism. And for many of them, communication and basic motor skills don't come easy.
Physically, everything is hard work, sitting still, concentrating, manipulating, keeping your concentration because your body's continually asking you to move. These are all things that distract you away from learning.
The National Curriculum Inclusion Policy requires that the needs of all students be met, whether in a mainstream or a special school. When it comes to physical education, that can appear to be a tall order if the focus is on what students can't do. But thinking about what students can do and enabling them to achieve even more helps address the issues. Over the years, Beacon Hill has developed a range of strategies that help its students overcome barriers to learning, whilst catering for their diverse needs. These children are autistic. They used to find it hard to absorb verbal instructions for sequences of movements in their gymnastics class. When they did, they couldn't remember sequences from week to week. The staff knew they had to do something.
We just need something that they can put into an order and it can remind them each week. And we just developed these symbols which are literally just velcroed on the back on a velcro strip, so you can stick them on in any order. What did we do next?
Now the students can see their sequences, repeat them and remember them more readily. It ensures a sense of familiarity with the equipment and the sequence and promotes their self-confidence.
3, that's beautiful. Alex, good girl. Jump.
It worked really well to the point that actually some children, after using these for a few weeks, became so familiar with their sequence, they actually didn't need these anymore.
Jump with a turn in to finish. Big stand up, stretch your arms.
Beacon Hill also helps children learn to visualise their body's performance. In the Blindfold Adventure Challenge, students take it in turns to negotiate an obstacle course. Staff are on hand to ensure safety, but most of the work is done by the students themselves.
There's about 6 poles and you've got to swing over to the next pole.
The more able children team up with the less confident to guide them across the course.
The children have really been able to visualise where they are on parts of the equipment. You're on the stepping stones or you're on the cargo net, so they immediately think, right, I need to reach down. So that has been a really, really positive effect on them, that they're actually starting to really think about where they are because they can't use their sight.
Take your time, Lee. Nice and steady.
Students of differing abilities work together elsewhere in the school too. Differentiation in the form of a buddy system is another strategy that's worked well at Beacon Hill.
Sports leaders, put your hands up a minute, please. Right, you are the ones who are going to lead it. You demonstrate. While you demonstrate, will you please tell them all about the safety of the thing?
In this session, lower attaining students are developing their motor skills and strength, while the young leaders, who are their buddies, develop transferable skills such as organisation and communication. This approach is also designed to boost self-esteem and promote empathy.
I keep encouraging him. That's it. You must always keep encouraging. If they're having trouble, you've got to keep encouraging. So helping each other. That's something is a big ethos in the school, that everybody has a need. And if you see another child with a different need, see how you can help them. And we do try and get all children to appreciate that.
And this notion is further reinforced by a small but significant modification to some of the equipment used in physical education.
Go!
The school uses colour to foster team spirit among the students, and colour has a very practical application too. Everything is colour coordinated, from benches to cones to team bibs. When you're in red team or yellow team, a moment's glance will instantly tell you where you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be with, and what equipment you're supposed to be using. It's another non-verbal way of communicating. The students at Beacon Hill have very diverse learning needs. They require that the staff think carefully about each student's physical capability and learning and communication style. But the simple strategies used at the school are succeeding. Their students are working together, communicating and progressing in their physical skills.
Much of the journey here is about making people feel just ordinary when they walk out the school gate, right? And some kids actually get to feel extraordinary.
Hall Green School is a mainstream comprehensive in Birmingham. 38 of its 900 students have statements for a physical disability, most of them wheelchair users. Including those with physical impairments requires different solutions from those used at Beacon Hill, but they are still mostly simple ideas that make all the difference. Rowing machines are one example, as Head of PE Shelley Paxton shows.
People with a wheelchair come on in, put the brakes on, up close to the base unit, and then obviously you may need to hand the actual handle to them, and then they're rowing away just like everybody else. And of course they're, you know, side by side with able-bodied pupils here. So that's, you know, dead quick, dead easy, takes 2 minutes, you know, and we're away.
Modifications are made in consultation with the school's SEN coordinator and care assistants. For the school, the key is understanding students' needs.
Really, the work should be done prior to their arrival in terms of how much you understand of a certain syndrome or, you know, a certain disability. So the main issue really is get to know your pupils and make sure that what you're asking them to do isn't a bridge too far, it is realistic.
But Hall Green takes inclusion one step further. This is wheelchair basketball. It's fast, competitive, and has Paralympic status. But this game has one crucial difference. Not all the players are disabled. Mixing disabled and non-disabled in this way creates a genuinely level playing field that both groups enjoy. And far from being a barrier, the wheelchair actually facilitates inclusion.
It's just a tool for playing the game. It's like using a racket to play tennis with. A wheelchair is a device to play wheelchair basketball with. And after a few times of playing, pupils don't really pay much attention to the fact that they're using a wheelchair. It's just something that they need to play the game. Inclusion is just part of everyday life for us. It's not something amazing or different or anything else. It's just what we expect and what happens, and every teacher includes in the lesson. We just have a curriculum that's for everybody, and some pupils happen to be in wheelchairs and some pupils happen to be walking around, some pupils happen to have learning difficulties, but they're just in the curriculum the same way as anybody else is.
And it's a view endorsed by Oliver.
The school is very good, to be honest with you. There are systems in place to help us.
At Southfields Community College in southwest London, inclusion is also part of everyday life. Some students are from refugee families and the school is cosmopolitan with over 71 languages spoken and many cultures to respect. Yet students with no background in traditional games like hockey, cricket or netball still have plenty to challenge them in physical education. The school's climbing wall, for instance, has proved to be a great tool for inclusive teaching.
What we've tried to do as much as possible is to provide a curriculum that gives these students opportunities to try new activities which really do suit their needs. We're very fortunate to have a rock climbing wall at the school. The climbing has been very successful. They have the ability to learn something totally new, and a lot of students that may not be the games players or the strong swimmers or the strong gymnasts are very good at climbing, and it's quite good for a lot of these students because they're shooting up the wall very, very quickly, and a lot of our top sportsmen are halfway up and struggling. So that's been a real eye-opener for a lot of our girls in particular because they are very, very well suited towards climbing.
For Aneem, the climbing wall represented a challenge and she's succeeded at it.
Yeah, at first, it was kind of hard for me and didn't really like it, but when I learned how to do it properly, so it was kind of fun.
The climbing wall is also a great way to provide differentiation in PE.
We have easier climbs which move around to very difficult climbs. So those students that may have are scared or a little bit apprehensive about climbing can start off on something very basic.
Allowing students to experience success in one sport is also the key to further inclusion.
We're very fortunate that those who are successful on the climbing wall are then more confident on other sports and they will try something new. As a department, we've moved away quite a lot from the very traditional sports. Yeah, we still do provide them, but for a lot of our girls, we're now looking at sports such as trampolining, dance, badminton, archery, rock climbing, cycling. And feet on the ground, and well done. Well done. Give your arms a rest, and then we'll try another one.
At Beacon Hill, Hall Green and Southfields, PE staff deal with very different aspects of inclusion, but all three schools share common principles. Teachers' knowledge of their students enables them to provide for diverse learning needs. They modify procedures and equipment so that barriers to learning are removed. And differentiation ensures that students are set appropriate challenges. All three schools have learnt that inclusive PE teaching requires a bit of extra effort and sometimes a bit of lateral thinking too. But focusing on what students can do will point the way.
I think inclusion is one of those things that people avoid. We often go on courses and speak to other teachers and they say to us, I don't know how you do it, I don't know how you can include pupils, but once you've had a go at it, it's easy.